Hello. So today we need to talk about a dream that I had. This is not a reading per se. I'm going through the list of notes that I took when I woke up. If you watched my reading about Shanquella Robinson, I mentioned how I was trying to get time to do the reading, but I had a lot of other busy work that I had to get done. And then I ended up having several dreams about it, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this out because it's like everywhere in my brain. Well, that is happening again. Okay, so this reading, the reading that I'm going to do that comes from this is going to be this weekend, but I'll explain that in a minute. So I had a dream. For a little background information, my house has a horseshoe driveway, goes like that. And then off to the side, there's grass. There's like, my dad keeps a, like a trailer on the side, and then, so you can pull up there. It is able to be pulled up, but it's not really meant to be pulled up one, if that makes sense. So in my dream, I was watching myself sleeping, but then I was taken to the front of my house where my driveway is, and there was a black limo. Now, for context, yesterday, we have bulk trash day. So I had a bunch of stuff out by the curb, and I just happened to be taking the trash out yesterday, and the trash guys drove up, got out and looked at the stuff I had there, got back inside, and then drove to my neighbor's house. And I was like, what the heck? And they saw me and then backed the truck back to my house and got the stuff. And I was like, oh, thank you. Fast forward to my dream. That same thing happened. It was like this black limo pulled past my house and then slammed on the brakes and then backed up to my house. And then pulled into my driveway. And as I said, horseshoe driveway. So I only have one car in the driveway, my car. So they could have parked anywhere, but they pulled onto the grass on the side of my house, which to me was kind of like, it was making me feel like it was some kind of like power move, like I can do what I want type of thing. So then I go back in my dream, I'm looking at myself in my room again, and there is a tall man in a gray suit, like waking me up. And he basically tells me it's time for the meeting. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I get in the limo with them, and we go into this office that seemed to me like either like a government office or like, you know, like how they have like interrogation like rooms that are like separate from an actual office. Maybe like that, but it was like not, like it was like decorated nicely like an office, but it wasn't like a normal office. I don't know how to explain it. But it was like a very narrow desk, almost kind of like my desk that I use. It's I don't know, it's not that wide. So essentially what I'm saying is I was sitting fairly closely to the person on the other side of the desk, because the desk was narrow. I noticed that there was a lot of frames on the walls, but there was no pictures in any of them. So fast forward, then this person puts down 2 lines of 10 photos on the desk. Like, you know, when like someone's sitting there in interrogation, they put all the pictures down. It wasn't like I was in an interrogation, but it was giving interrogation vibes. Like, almost like I was being put in the position to interrogate the photos that I was being shown, if that makes sense. And then I was taken and I was shown a pile of clothes on fire that was like right outside of this office that we were in. I don't know, that part didn't all the way make sense to me, but maybe it will when I do a reading on this. And then I do remember at one point, Xana came in and interrupted the meeting, like not like in a rude way, just like, I think she said lunch or something's here, or gave a paper, something along those lines to the other person. And then I like woke up and then I went back to sleep. The entire dream repeated, pretty much the same, except now instead of a black limo, it was like either a dark gray or like a gunmetal almost type of color. So the person that was on the other side of the desk, their phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing, and he just kept saying, I'm not allowed to answer, I'm not supposed to answer, I'm not allowed to answer. And I was like, all right, well, can you like put it on silent then, because I can't focus if your phone's gonna keep ringing. I like remember just getting very agitated, like stop. Like I couldn't focus because the phone was like ringing and then stop, ringing and then stop. So that kind of got me agitated, and I asked for water. I'm like, I need water if I'm gonna keep talking. Like I feel like it was very hot in there, or stuffy or humid or something. And they kept saying, no, you can only have soda. I was like, I don't want soda. Soda's not gonna help if I'm trying to talk and my mouth is dry and it's hot in here, I'm dehydrated. And they just kept saying, no, you can only have soda. Looking back in retrospect, I feel like that was because like it was almost as if, so essentially what I'm getting at here is I believe the pictures that were on the desk were representing the killer's night from start to finish. Like prior to the murders to after the murders. Like I feel like I was being shown the scenes of the killer's entire day. And I feel like the not allowing me to have water and only having soda was like the person couldn't calm themselves down. Like it was like that, like shaking a soda explosion feeling like all day. I think that was the symbology there. And as I was looking at the pictures on the desk, I was kind of like mentally taken to the scene, and I was like not sprinting, but like doing a decent jog around the house, like over and over and over again. And I used to have this dream when I was little that I was being, well, also kind of when I was an adult, but not for a while. But my parents used to have a pool at their house, above ground pool, and I used to have a dream that this clown was chasing me around the pool, and it would just happen all night. So it was similar to that, but it was like I would run twice and then I would stop and like look at the scene, and then I would realize the person started chasing me again. Again, this is, I'm not entirely sure what this all means yet. I'm just putting it out there, and then I'm going to analyze it later. So after that, we go back inside to the office, and there's the 10 pictures on the desk, but now they've added 12. So they added 2 to the top row, 2 to the bottom row, and then 2 above the 10 pictures. So now essentially I have a line with 2 pictures, a line with 12, and a line with 12. And the 2 new ones are on the end of each row. So 2, like the 10 that were there before, and then 2 new, and 2 new up top. And whatever I saw in the top pictures shocked me back into an awake, like sat up, like that kind of awake, where like I felt like, you know, just absolute, like couldn't catch my breath, kind of sweating, like clammy, just like that kind of awake. And I laid back down, and it took me a little bit to kind of doze back off into sleep. But when I did, I was standing on like it was either like a dock, like a wooden dock, or like rocks, but like it was near or like out into a body of water. And in the distance, I could see 3 figures that looked like men, could be wrong, but I was getting the those are men feeling. It was like a paddle boat, but it had a really strong engine. And I know that because when it left, it like, whoosh, like they like revved up the engine, and it was like the engine for a much bigger boat, I guess you could say. It wasn't like a tiny paddle boat, like helper engine. It was like a speedboat, big speedboat engine on this little paddle boat. So anyway, they started throwing, I don't know what it was. It looked like paper to the left and then sped off to the right. Like it was like almost as if implying distraction, 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 and then the real way they went was the other way. And then so I'm taken back to the interview room. Like I witnessed this happen with the boat, and then I'm back in the interview room, and the doors, like, so I'm facing, it's set up kind of like my office, like the door's behind me and the other person's in front of me that's on the other side of the desk. The door behind me starts to open, and the person that's on the other side of the desk just kind of like, and then I woke up. Like the person, let's say you're the person that's coming in the door and I'm the person that's on the other side of the desk from me. It was kind of like they looked directly at the person that was coming in the door and they were like, and then I woke up. So what I'm taking this to mean is you guys have asked a lot of great questions. I am going to get to them. However, first, what I'm going to do is reenact this dream with tarot cards. I'm going to put the 2 rows of 10 cards down. I'm going to do it on video, obviously. I'm going to put the 2 rows of 10 cards down, see what picture that paints. Then I'm going to put the extra 2, extra 2, extra 2, see what that paints, and then we're going to go from there. As I said, I am going to address all the questions and points that you guys have made, but for some reason, I feel like this dream came now because it's like, do this first because it's going to help everything else make sense. So I do have a ton of work that I have to get done. I have like almost close to 30 readings that are due tomorrow on Friday, and I'm not really sure how I'm doing that yet. So essentially with Etsy, if like my time frame is 1 to 4 business days, so that means that all of the readings purchased Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all due on Thursday. So Thursdays and Fridays are not great for me to be able to film and respond. I know I have a lot of you I still have to respond to. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just drowning in readings. However, I am planning on filming this as soon as possible. I'm going to try to get to it Saturday. And again, I'm going to do the video that is translated in my mind of what I'm being guided to do from the dream. And then I need a little bit more time to go through everything and make sure I covered or wrote down all of your questions and everything like that. I am going to do a video on that. I'm not brushing it off or ignoring it. I just need a little bit more time for that video. And I feel like I really feel like what I was being shown was the opportunity to channel, like it almost like my spirit guides were telling me this is how you can look at it that's going to make the most sense and put the picture into place. So I feel like that might give us answers or shift the way that we're able to see things, because I haven't really done it that way, looking at it from, I've looked into the killer's energy, but this was essentially showing me the killer's night from start to finish. So that's what we're going to do. I will film that hopefully Saturday, if not Saturday, Sunday. Get it up as soon as possible. If I haven't responded to you yet, I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to. I just have a very busy 2 days ahead of me, so I have to get all of that out of the way first. Yeah, so I'll see you guys soon.